get all of my tabs here for screen sharing. My daughter is home sick from school today, so that may also be why I sound a little under the weather. Might be her fault, might be the party I went to last night. It was a school dinner fundraiser, so hopefully I don't sound too bad. Hopefully you'll excuse me for that, I suppose. Let's see here. Tabs from other devices. That's what I need because I need it from my MacBook Pro. Let's see. Can I easily bring this across? I really need a browser sync so that it'll synchronize my tabs from one computer to another because I've got my studio computer and then I have my editing computer. It's not really a thing. In theory, it should be a thing. It's not. There we go. Let's get this. Android XR. All good things here. I've got my Elgato prompter video hopefully coming later today. I gotta finish editing it. So we'll see. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Here we go. XReal Project Aura. And of course, X. All right. Folks over on the YouTube side, keep coming in. Let's get ready. Let's do this. We've got a couple of people watching here. I'm going to pull up. There's a weird reply on Twitter. Put a phone number. Somebody replied to my live stream here, and they put a phone number. It looks like a phone number, although it's 16000. I don't know what the hell that is. Spam. Lots of spam. Oh, yes, it is. It is literally porn. Good job. Thank you, Twitter, for still having a porn problem. Now I've said that word twice in the stream. Hopefully, YouTube lords do not get mad or upset at me. Alrighty, let's get into a couple of things here. So I'm going to share my screen. Where's Riverside? Riverside is over here. Calls under the window. Yes? No? I'll pop out the chat so I'll be able to see it here. Am I still moving or am I frozen? No, I'm frozen. Oh boy. Why? Why is it being rude? Looks like it's not being rude anymore. I think it is working now. So let's do this. Okay. Awesome. All right, let's get this started. As promised, I am going live almost immediately after the event here. Google just announced a whole bunch of updates, and despite the fact that I quite possibly might have broken my ankle last night, coming home from a school fundraiser dinner that I went to for one of my kids' schools, and I'm in a lot of pain, and we'll get back to elevating my foot after I do this live stream. I wanted to jump on because there was a lot of new information that was dropped. Also, I have a new head. Check this out. This is my new guy's head. And can you see this? Yeah, you can see this. I got this on Amazon, and I am going to use this in my reviews, showing off the different headsets and showing how they fit well over the face. Can you see the resemblance? No, not exactly my face. Is it the size of my face, give or take? But this will give me the ability to hopefully show off better the form factor when it's not on my head and talk about how it fits and all of that. And maybe if I'm lucky, I can drill a camera in through one of the eyeballs here on the front, and we'll see if I can get some interesting footage that way. But the first thing out of the gate here, and let me just make sure that this isn't on. This is the Galaxy XR headset. No, it's not on. From Samsung. This is the first Android XR device that is available right now, and it's pretty good. It's not Apple Vision Pro, but it's also $1,800 instead of $3,500. And for the first time today, the biggest news here is that this is getting a software update. Finally, thank God, it is bringing travel mode. That's it. You can end the stream here. That is the biggest news. I'm kidding, but that's for me was like, how the hell? Why would they launch without the most requested feature on the Vision Pro that Apple was getting crucified for and fixed? That they launched without this, and that was my biggest complaint. And yes, I have to do my review still. I owe you my review. I apologize. This got bigger than I thought it was going to be because I didn't feel that I was giving it the respect it required because I hadn't tested the Vision Pro. So I went and I bought the Vision Pro, as you may have seen in my other streams. And so I am comparing the two, and I'm way more versed in all of this than I was before, versus before where I was more just in the wired glasses XR space, not quite in the full virtual reality space. And I do still have to get the Meta Quest 3 so that I can really round out the bigger players here. But the big news is that this is getting a software update, and in that is going to be travel mode. So that is very exciting for me because, quite frankly, this headset was useless when traveling without it because I took it on a plane and I tried to use it as my desktop, and I could do absolutely nothing with it. As it is with some of the other glasses that are out there, you need to adjust them if you're using it. So, for example, when I use the XReal glasses, um, they if you have it in ultra wide mode, that is in 3 degrees of space of 3 DOF, and it will float away as the plane moves. It's not as bad as what happened on the Android XR headset, on the Galaxy XR here, but it still was annoying. That being said, you have the ability to just hit a button and turn it off, and you'd be able to just go in follow me mode, and that's where the screen would stay in front of you. Is it ultra wide? No, but it is quite large, and it is an extra screen that you can use. Um, so that is very exciting. The other major limitation of the Galaxy XR, which I'm curious to see how this changes, is they're saying that the rollout starts today for PC Connect. Now, this is Windows only, so I am going to have to get my Windows computer that I have here hiding in the rack. It's a Dell XPS. It is the ARM processor though. So I am not sure PC Connect will work with that. I have to double check the release notes on that. But I'll share my screen over here so that if you're watching on the stream, which I imagine you are, you'll be able to see. Okay, that's the layout thing. Again, Riverside changed how this works. So now I'm going to share this screen over here, and you can see me and you can see the screen. Excellent. So there's three things here: PC Connect, likeness, and travel mode. I'll get into all three. I've already talked about travel mode. PC Connect is going to have their new capability to plug in with a Windows laptop and show your screen on the screen. And they also showed with XReal's Project Aura glasses, which I'll get into in a second, that you're going to be able to plug in your laptop to that as well. And you will be able to have both your screen from your laptop, so your Windows screen in front of you, as well as sharing the space with Android XR apps around, similar to what you can with the Apple Vision Pro. Um, Likeness is similar to Apple's personas is what they call them. And that is, let me bring this up here. This is kind of what that looks like. She's showing that you can join a Google Meet, and it looks pretty good. It's not quite as good as Apple's personas, but this is a huge improvement over what we originally saw with Samsung's version of avatars. This is actual, likenesses, and you can make it look good and whatnot. And you can see here that to the left of the Google Meet that she has open here is her desktop setup. And interesting, it says here requires initial setup with optimal lighting and background conditions. Realism and responsiveness of your likeness may vary based on user appearance and environmental factors. So they're hedging their bets here. They're like, hey, we're putting this out here, but it may not be perfect just yet because, well, it's a new feature. So I think that's going to be really interesting, and it really brings the headset closer to on par with the functionality from the Apple Vision Pro to be able to wear this and join and function in meetings as if you were not wearing it. One of the cool things that I realized that people are doing up until now they've been doing with the Vision Pro is that they'll be able to film videos talking about things, like for YouTube or other social media, but because when you film it or not film it, when you set up your persona, it takes what you're wearing into account and your background at that moment, and then every time afterwards that you use your persona, it maps your face to that, but your background and what you're wearing doesn't change. So I could go into it when I do the recording or the setup of the persona, and I'll have my cool studio background here behind me, but um and I'll have good lighting on my face and get all that set up. And I'll be wearing my tabGeeks swag shirt. I can be somewhere else entirely wearing a plain white t-shirt and still look like I'm at home in the studio recording content. And I think that's a really interesting point of where we're going here in the future is the ability to just say, hey, I'm not necessarily in my beautiful, perfect environment, or not even necessarily needing to have a beautiful, perfect environment because you can just construct one in some kind of a design tool in the future and then use this type of tech to put yourself in the perfect studio environment, even if you're not. And obviously, depending on lighting, it's going to need some help in that area. But if all it's doing is mapping the movements of your face and then making your virtual face do that, I think that's an interesting combo of the direction of the future that we're going with AI slop being everywhere all at once, where you're going to be able to have folks creating real, genuine human content by humans, but in a virtual, perfect environment every single time. And I thought that was a very interesting observation that I noticed in doing my testing here. Other things that they talked about here are the XReal Project Aura. Now, I was at I/O sitting next to the XReal team when this was announced on stage. When at Google I/O, when they first announced the Android XR and that it was going to be coming with what was then called Project Muhan, it is now the Galaxy XR headset. They showed off on screen a first look at what the XReal glasses would be that are also going to be running Android XR. And so here they are. This is the demo. She's wearing them. You can see that she's got the laptop in front of her, and she showed that you can have, as I showed before, you can have your laptop screen showing up on these glasses. Now, this is very, very different from a very big departure from something like the full, brick on your face headsets like the Apple Vision Pro and the Galaxy XR here, where it's much closer in form factor to the rest of XReal's lineup with their all the rest of their glasses, which are really fantastic. Um, this one looks like it's got all the components built in, though. I haven't had a chance to get hands on. Please, Ralph, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to, and I'd love to do a review on of them or at least show off what I can. But it looks like the camera in the middle is attached. I think that's one piece now, as well as the cameras on the sides. It looks like it's got all the different sensors in there, and it looks like it does these similar to the rest of the lineup, the electrochromic dimming. In the past, they used to call it electrochromatic, but I recently discovered that it is chromic, not chromatic, unless there is no difference, and I can just, whatever. But I believe it's actually electrochromic dimming. But what that is where they use the electricity in the glasses to be able to change the tinting of the glasses. So you can go full quote unquote immersion. It's not full immersion because it doesn't have any of the padding that you have on the larger headsets, but you are able to be in the world with it blacked out in front of you, or you can have the almost augmented reality effect where it's an overlay. Now, it's not exactly an overlay unless you have, and I don't know if they have this yet, but it's not exactly an overlay unless you have the ability to only have the part of Android XR that is meant to be the augmented, the overlay glasses, where you have the just a little monocular screen there. I don't know if these are going to have the ability to toggle between those two. I doubt it. Just given the difference in architecture and setup for these, I believe that these are, and I have heard that these are going to be for sure will have the ability to do the full Android XR experience that you have in the Galaxy XR. Although I imagine it won't have any of the Samsung apps in there, which is actually a bonus in my book. Um, but it will be able to have the full environment. That being said, it only has, and only is a weird term here, because when it comes to XR glasses of this size, it has a 70-degree field of view. And so that, right now, compared to what they have in the One Pros, I believe is a 52 or 56-degree field of view. And so this will be much larger and almost out to the periphery, but compared to what we've gotten thus far in Android XR and Vision Pro and even in the Meta Quest, is the full wraparound. You can continue, rotating your head and you'll be able to see all the way around you in that space. You're not going to have that as much where if you're like, in your peripheral, you look to the side, you're not going to see all the way out to the side because it is, again, only that 70-degree field of view. However, from the early reviews that I'm seeing here on some of these tabs, which I'll show off in a moment, it seems like that is actually quite immersive. And one other interesting point on these is we've talked about this before. There is a puck. So this is the Qualcomm powered Android XR puck, and some very interesting things that I'm noticing on here just off the screenshot. This looks like it's a little speaker of some sort. Is this a screen? I doubt it, but maybe this is definitely a speaker of some sort. So maybe this is a IR sensor. Well, what else could that be for? Then this is your power button, and then what, volume button? I'm not sure. And it looks, based on the angle, or not the angle, but the position of the charger here, I'm guessing that it has the ability to plug into your headset and charge at the same time, similar to all of the other bricks that you'll see from the other device makers currently. And that makes sense because you want to be able to plug in while you're using it. Um, I'm curious if this is going to have any kind of onboard battery and be the battery for the device, or if it needs to be plugged into power slash your computer while using it. I imagine it will have some kind of battery, and it does look beefy enough to have a battery inside. So this is the puck. That's literally all I know about it. Is what I can see here. You have antenna bands, which is nice. So wireless compute is going to be going through there, but it looks like a really nicely designed metal enclosure there, or at least some kind of polycarbonate. And really, really looks good there. So I'm excited to get hands on with that. AWE is the Augmented Reality Conference, is usually in Long Beach. I believe it'll be in Long Beach again this year. If it is, I'll be there in person, and maybe I can catch up with Ralph and get some hands on with this. We'll see if I don't know what month that's in. Let me just Google that over here real quick. AWE Long Beach 2026. Looks like, oh, that's all the way in June. So I will probably be able to get some hands on by June, I hope, if they haven't even launched the device by then, or maybe that's when they'll launch the device. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit subscribe because I will be there in person and we'll get all of the details that they'll give me and allow me to play with. And if they let me have it and review the device, then I'll give you all those juicy details like I have in the past as well. Some of the other things that we saw in the demo here is that Nano Banana and Gemini are built into the glasses. This was their prototype glasses that they were showing off, not the Project Aura glasses, as far as I understand it. So I don't know exactly what of this functionality will come to the Project Aura glasses. And I believe these ones were the ones with the monocular lens in it. So it remains to be seen how they're going to segment Android XR and what features will be available to which devices. However, given the Project Aura glasses have that nice camera in the middle there, I think that something like this functionality where you can take a picture and then use Nano Banana and Gemini to edit it or add in features will likely come to those glasses as well. That's just my personal thoughts here on what might work together for that, because there's a camera there, and that just makes sense. So what you're seeing here on the screen, if you didn't watch the event live, is that they took the picture from the glasses of his camera crew, and then you're able to tell Nano Banana or tell Gemini to use Nano Banana, or just tell Gemini to do it, to add in a little Android avatar wearing sunglasses, and that's what they have here. And it does, of course, have the Gemini generated logo on the corner there. So it's a really cool overlay of a picture that you took of reality to add in some other demos. The other thing that I noticed here is when they um, oh shoot, my daughter is homesick, and my babysitter needs to go. So I will have to wrap this up in a little while, but so far, hopefully she doesn't come in and interrupt me here. Let me just respond to that. Yeah. So the other thing that I saw that was really interesting with this was they did have some elements of Project Astra. Project Astra, you can Google it. I think I talked about it in my Google I/O video that I did here, where they showed off wearing a pair of these prototype glasses and walking through an office environment, as well as I think at home, and being able to say things like, Gemini, where did I put my keys? And it'll tell you, oh, you left them in, your fridge or whatever. Or, where's my glasses? Oh, you left them on your desk because you walked past your desk and it saw you, put down the glasses, which is different than the other glasses you were wearing, I guess. I don't remember. Um, but also being able to recall details from things it saw before. Now, I don't know how this works. I don't know if it only works when when your camera is on, when you're doing when you have Gemini Live going, or if it's a takes screenshots all the time and somehow stores them. That seems incredibly battery intensive, as well as privacy issues. I'm sure there's on-device AI and stuff that you can do, but that all remains to be seen how that's going to look and work. But it was cool where even in this demo, again, they showed off some of those capabilities of Project Astra, where he went to the snack table and asked about something that was, one particular item on that snack table. And then he put it down and he went and he did this photo that we see on the screen. And then he asked about something again that was on the snack table that he had not asked about before. And it was able to say, oh, you want some protein? There's beans or whatever it was that has protein in it. And so it has that stored knowledge capability and recall capability. So I'm very excited to try that as somebody who forgets things where I put things all the time. ADHD folks rejoice. This is going to be a huge time saver, a lifesaver for us. So if it works the way that it looks like it's going to work, so pretty cool stuff there. The other news that I mainly noted out of here is that the Android XR SDK Developer Preview 3 launches today, and that's going to be for the whole development side. So you're going to be able to run demo apps in your environment, and you're going to be able to start coding for this. And if you go on to let me just bring this over. Was it this one? Yeah, I think this is the website for what do you call it, for Android. No, it's not. It was, what was it, Android um dot developer.android, yeah, .com.xr. Okay, so I already have it open over here. Create endless opportunities or endless possibilities with Android XR. And you're going to be able to go in here and develop your app and choose whether you want it to be immersive or augmented. And they are looking for user feedback. So if you want to be asked to fill out surveys and give feedback and whatnot, sign up over there. You can choose your preferred platform, whether it's Jetpack, XR SDK, Unity, OpenXR, or WebXR. Those are your options there. So if you're a developer, definitely go and check this out. And like I said at the top of the show here, update your Galaxy XR if you already have it, because you are going to need, or you're going to want, all of these new things that are coming to it. Let's take a look at some of the other articles that are here just for more imagery, because, and I have not really gone through these. So bear with me while we kind of do it live here, but I wanted to jump on right away. Um, it looks like, what's this showing here? Okay, this is showing the XReal, probably the One Pros plugged into a Pixel device here. Oh, sorry, that's not the Pixel device. That's their Beam Pro. And essentially, Project Aura, they're saying, will work similar to that, except the puck does not have a display. Okay, so I was off on that. It does not have a display. And let's see, is these are the One Pro glasses, so not more imagery of the Project Aura. Also One Pro glasses, which he was wearing at WWDC, which is pretty funny, and easier to wear than the Vision Pro for sure. And this is the latest developer prototype of Google and Samsung's display-enabled glasses. So interesting to see these, because and I have been testing Meta's glasses, and these don't look as chunky. It looks like we got a camera on each side. These look very similar to the ones that I tested out at I/O. I really have to put out that video there, but you can see there's a little postage stamp screen here, and it is positioned directly in the center of the lens as opposed down in the lower right-hand side, which is where it is on the Meta glasses. So let's see some of these other articles here. Over on LinkedIn is their blog post from XReal directly from Chi, the CEO and co-founder. And this is, some marketing speak, but it does talk about what's going on here. They have the new X1S chip inside their glasses that does all the spatial reasoning and processing. So then everything else is handled by the puck, and the puck is where Android XR is going to live. Dev kits will be rolling out next year. I'm curious to see what the timeline is on that. I haven't seen anything saying when that will be. They're being very tight-lipped about this. But Project Aura is coming to market in 2026. So we'll see. Stay tuned, and don't go away, and make sure that you're subscribed. Let's see here. 9 to 5 Google also seems to have gotten some hands-on here, and these are the two different form factors. Let's see here. Let's see what he says. Go away with your stupid pop-up and ads. That's just a video showing it off. Okay, I'll go back to that article later. This is the same image that we already saw. This is PC Mag. And okay, these are the one of the development kits. This I think is is the one that I wore at IO. So pretty solid, straightforward. They actually didn't let me take pictures of it. They let me take video of it, but like taking it off and taking pictures and stuff, they were not so happy with. So it's interesting that they got shots here. I guess you have better luck when you're bigger press than a YouTuber like myself. But here's some of the overlay, the maps on there, which will be really nice because Google Maps is quite good. Um, and this is kind of what it's going to look like with Gemini talking to you in the glasses. And there's the meta ones for comparison, which I have a whole video talking about and more content on that coming. So again, make sure that you are subscribed, etc., etc. This is we already looked at that. We already looked at that. And here's a look at the PC Connect app. Let's see if I can make this bigger. Yep. So your PC anywhere in XR. So the big difference here is that currently on the Galaxy XR, the only way that you can connect to a computer is if it's a Samsung computer, which pissed me off because I paid $1,800 for this headset. And granted, I have a Mac. I'd love to be able to use it with my Mac. That's kind of a pipe dream. That's why I also had to is a strong word, but why I also bought the Vision Pro. And actually, when I was sitting in bed watching this event and working earlier today with my leg propped up in the air on a couple of pillows, excuse me, on a couple of pillows, because if you missed the beginning of the show, I quite possibly may have broken my ankle last night walking back from a school fundraiser dinner that I was at. And so I was actually using the Vision Pro to watch the event and had my laptop in front of me. It was powering that. And I also had Twitter/X open on another app, and it was great. And I was able to just use it on my laptop. And it was really a very good setup and replacement for my desktop that I couldn't be at because I needed to have my leg elevated, which I will go back to doing as soon as I'm done with this live stream. But I couldn't have done that with this headset that I bought with the Galaxy XR. So I'm hoping that with the PC Connect app here, with the update that I'm going to do as soon as I am done with this live stream, that I'll be able to connect to a Windows app, and then I'll be able to have that experience on the Android side as well. So let's see. Travel mode stays stable even when you're in motion, like on a plane. I'm gonna have to test that. My brother-in-law just got a Tesla, so maybe I'll be like, yo, I need to test your full self-driving and test this headset while sitting in the back of the car. Although I guess I would have to, yeah, I would need him in the car to give me a ride, wouldn't I? Because full self-driving is not fully self-driving. I'd have to go to LA and get in a Waymo for that. But given that my right foot is the one that I might have broken, I probably shouldn't be driving just now. That would hurt a lot. That does not sound safe. So we're gonna not do that. But I will test these. I will figure out how. That's all of the pages that I have here to show off. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen there. And where did my chat go? Here, so why doesn't I don't know why Riverside doesn't jump back and forth automatically when I do this anymore. All right, I guess folks weren't as chatty today or as available for this one, and I didn't have it scheduled, so it makes sense that you didn't show up necessarily. But that's fine. I did it live, and that was 30 minutes of me just schmoozing off the cuff as a reaction to the Android show, the special Android XR edition. This is a very exciting time for XR. It is becoming more of a competition. It's heating up. People are using it. More people are getting into it. And it's not mainstream yet, but we're starting to get there. So I'm in it for the long run. I just spent $4,000 on headsets and more coming. So that's my own money that I spent. They didn't send them to me, the XReal ones. Some of them I've bought and some they do send me. I'm hoping they send me Project Aura because, like I said, getting all of this stuff is getting expensive. So I'm gonna go re-elevate my foot now because it's starting to really hurt, and maybe take some more painkillers or something, and get back to working in virtual reality because like I said, I got to put my leg up, and I got to put my headset on and still be able to work. So that'll be fun. Thanks for watching. If you did watch this live, thanks for joining live. Next time you should comment because comments make this a lot more fun. I am a YouTuber, so I am able to just talk forever without, necessarily talking to anybody, which is a very interesting talent, I suppose, obscure talent that comes with being an only child and having ADHD, I suppose. But I'll wrap it up here before I ramble any further. Thanks, as always, for watching. Drop your questions and comments down below. I will be doing more content on this, so like and subscribe, etc., etc. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll let you know if I actually broke my ankle. Bye.